Hi, welcome back to another episode of Lang, Speed, and Cycle. Here's part 2 of my cheap modifications for V-Stars. I got my $5 turn signals here, and I also picked up some Amazon turn signals. We'll install them both and see, what looks best and what I like. Let's get started. One thing I love about motorcycles, coming from an automotive and warehouse equipment background, is you just need simple hand tools. So for the headlight removal and disassembly, all you need is a Phillips screwdriver, and then turn signals, just some small sockets. I'm just using 1/4 inch stuff, and we're gonna go from there. And then Allen wrenches for the headlight brackets. Let's get started. One thing I did want to mention, I'm gonna replace the headlight bulb while I'm in here. I just went with a simple halogen. It's the Sylvania Silver Star Ultra. I'm a casual rider and impatient, so I didn't want to wait for an LED light off Amazon. I know a lot of people like those, but I just went with a simple halogen, and that way I can also reinstall this with no issues. So I think it's good practice, because I don't know when this headlight bulb was, and a lot of us that get used motorcycles don't know when a lot of maintenance was done. You have a nut on this side, a solid nut, and then you have a 10mm bolt coming through with the sleeve on the back, and they're both 10mm. I believe that the clamp mounting bolt is an 8, and then we'll take those off, and this should all come out as an assembly. Here we have the signal off of the bike, and you have the blue running light wire, which we're not going to be using, the black ground wire, and then you have your turn signal wire. It's either going to be green or chocolate. So we'll get started on the wiring. I already opened her up. It looks like the flasher or positive side is solid black. The ground is black with a white stripe. And I'm going to use my snap-on crimper that I really like. Snip these ends off, because we're not going to use them. And I'm actually going to use these Spade connectors you can get at any hardware or auto parts store. I think I got them at Menards, which is local to me. And you can see that we have this wire showing, it's exposed. One trick you can do is get heat shrink. I have some spare stuff here from my engine swap on the Dakota, so we'll get about as much as we need here. Ballpark it a little bit. That looks good. There you go. Easy wire loom. And then we'll strip the wire. Pretty sure this is like a 22 gauge. With wire this thin, you gotta make sure you have a good crimp. What you can do is actually fold the copper over. Makes the wire a little bit thicker. So when you push it into that Spade connector, it's got a little bit more resistance. Just make sure it goes all the way into the Spade connector. Give it a tug, good to go. And what I did is I actually put a male end and a female end on here. That way I don't mess up the connections, because I'm going to flip it on the bike side as well. But now this is ready to go. This just unthreads. comes off like so. These are meant pretty much for sport bikes, but they'll work for what I got to. Well, I went ahead and started mocking up both turn signals on the right side, and I'm just gonna be honest, you know, I like the teardrop turn signals a little bit more. They hook up to the windshield clamp way easier. See here, I'm gonna have to add washers, and the chrome Amazon ones are just bulky and big. So one golden tidbit while we're working on this is the passenger side turn signal, or right side turn signal, is a chocolate color, and the left turn signal is a dark green color, I believe. Yes. And then what's interesting is they actually share a common ground. You can see the single black wire coming in, and then it splits into two connections here. So what I'm gonna do is actually use a splice and have two wires coming out of the other end. I'll show you here in a sec.
Here I'm getting that connector with the ground splice attached, and I have the heat shrink style butt connector, and I'm just getting those sides all shrunk together and ready for final installation.
Now I have everything connected except for the running lights. Now I'm just gonna get everything in here, get my headlight back in. Got the bike all back together. Let's test it out and see what it looks like. The headlight is super bright, shining right in my neighbor's window, so that's great. Turn signal looks sweet, blinks a little fast, but that's okay. I dig the way it looks. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as I mounted it up, I was like, that looks way better. Get the headlight cut off here so you can see it better, but I like the look of that way more. Nice, small, compact design. It hooked right into the windshield brackets. So hey, for $5 and a little bit of labor, it looks great. Well, I think the way that turned out, it deserves a celebration. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed this little project. I think the turn signals look really good. I'll add links to everything that I might have used that you might find useful below. Feel free to leave a comment on something you might have loved, hated about the video, or something you might want to know. I appreciate all the support that you guys are giving me. And until next time, find them, fix them, and drive them.